So I'm going to get a little warmed up, swing the axe again, and just kind of doing the thing. So they say the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. And if you live in the north where it gets cold like I do, today'd be a good day to maybe save some seeds and throw them in a Dixie cup, some dirt. They have to cold stratify, which just making this a little bit educational, a little bit informative, give people an idea. But what you do is you basically just throw it in some dirt and then let it set outside and let nature do its thing. The seeds, when water freezes, people know this, they should know this, that when water freezes, it expands. And so that's the stratification. The seeds soak up the water, and then when they freeze, that hard outer shell cracks. And then that allows the root and the seed leaves to come out. So what I did, and I'll show you because I have a lot of deer and things that would love to come up and eat a little apple seedling or pear, plum, or nectarine, or peach, or whatever. So I just saved all the different pits and seeds. Grapes have to go through a stratification, blueberries, all these different things. They have to go through a cold period. And when they come up, they're small and they're tender, and the wildlife will just walk right up to my back porch and eat them. So I built these little cages, or big cages, I don't know. And then they're in different colored solo cups. And some of them have, because they only make so many different colors. But I had more seeds than I had colors, so and I made a little chart so that way I could keep track of, okay, the red solo cups have apples, but the red solo cups with a little plastic spoon sticking out of it has something else. I don't remember. With a fork, it's got something else. And then I just made a little chart so I could remember what was what. But some of the apples, pears, plums, nectarines, peaches, grapes, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, you name it, but they all have to go through a freeze. So that's one thing that you could be doing right now, actively, passively, as a matter of fact, because once you have it set up, it just has to sit there until spring. And the cage will protect it. And, I like to have things color coordinated and neat and tidy and everything like that, so that way in the springtime I don't have to guess what was what, because I also have my berry patches in the back, but my fruit trees are up here, and if I make the mistake of putting them in the wrong spot. And another thing that you could be doing, even though it's cold and you're thinking to yourself, oh, well, nothing grows when it's cold. And it's like, no, that's wrong. If you look at the grass on your lawn, it's still green because it's still alive. It's slow, but it's still alive and it's still growing. And so what I have here, and this is just a simple, like a dog kennel that I wrapped in plastic. I built my own timber framing for, what is it called, not a trellis. I forget what it's called, but hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about, the little triangles. Don't know who even gonna see this, so it don't matter. I can sound as dumb as I want. It doesn't matter. I built it. I just can't remember what it's called. You ever have that? But so yeah, it's just so the outer shell is gonna be your first layer of protection, and your second layer of protection. I just threw. You could use Agribon or whatever. I've heard it called Agribon. I just have more greenhouse plastic, and then you pick. So that's little spinach, still in its little baby phases. Some of it's got a little water damage, I think too much water. But some of it's doing rather well, I think. These were tomato plants. But if you've got it under, they call it a double row cover. And I think maybe you could research into like Elliot Coleman. Shout out to Elliot Coleman. I read your book. It's pretty good. If you ever see this video, thanks for giving me the idea. And then here's kale. It's a white Russian kale. So that's pretty much what I have. It's kind of experimental. I'm learning what works and what doesn't work. But so far, we've already had several nights where I wake up in the morning and there's 6 inches of snow on the ground, and this stuff is still growing. So double layer, double row cover, basically, because it's the wall is your first layer of protection, and then the Agribon that's just a sheet of plastic I threw over it, is your second cover, double row cover. And you can see they're not growing fast, but they are putting down roots, and they're getting, it won't be long before they get big, and I'll get, a salad, or, kale is basically, it cooks up the same way, like if you like cabbage and sausage, like if you have that European descent like I do, like cabbage and sausage with onions and peppers and things like that. Kale works fine too. You're probably not going to get a whole head of cabbage this way, but kale works. Anyway, depending on where you live, you might be able to get away with it using this method. I would certainly encourage people to try it. You don't have to think to yourself, oh, gee, I guess I'm stuck buying stuff off the shelf at the grocery store. It's never going to get any fresher than if you pick it yourself. Never. It will never be that fresh if you pick it yourself. That's always going to be as good as it will ever get. So why would anybody want anything from the grocery store is beyond me. Personally, I detest going to the grocery store. It's been sitting there for God knows how long, and it's lost a lot of its nutrition, which is a word that doesn't get thrown around often enough. Most of the time, the word that people are looking for is cheap. You get what you pay for. The word you should be asking is it nutritious? Is it organic? Is it free from chemicals and pesticides? That's what you should be asking.